Hello friends, welcome to BSc Agriculture. If you are coming to my channel for the first time, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Your subscription and likes are always motivating us. If you have any doubt, please comment in the section, and you can able to join us in the Instagram page, which is in the video description. So let's move to the video. In this video, we are going to see about the productive cultivation and secondary agriculture, and I am going to teach you the plant response to the greenhouse environment. It is about the today's lecture topic. And while giving you about the small intro about the plant response, the productivity of the crop, which is said to be influenced not only by the heredity but also by the microclimate around it in that particular greenhouse. So the components of the crop, such as microclimates, which are light, temperature, air composition, and nature of the root mediums, are said to be the major components responsible for the productivity of that crop. In open field, only manipulation of the nature of the root medium, so by tillage, irrigation, and fertilizer application is possible. So even in case of the nature of root medium is modified, but it cannot be fully controlled in each and every environment. So whereas a greenhouse, due to its coolest boundaries, as well as which are also used to permit to control one or more components of the microclimate in that controlled environment. So you can able to control some of the few components of the microclimate. So this topic used to deals with the plant response to environmental parameters such as light, temperature, and relative humidity and ventilation of the crops. So the first one we are going to see is the light. So the visible light of the solar radiation is said to be the major source of energy for the plants. So they are said to be used in the production of carbohydrates from carbon dioxide and water, which is said to be happened in the presence of chlorophyll. Using light energy, which is responsible for the plant growth and reproduction process, which we are used to call it as the photosynthetic process. And the rate of photosynthesis is said to be mainly governed by the available fertilizer elements in the soil, as well as the water, carbon dioxide, light, and temperature. So we can able to give it as a definition as carbon dioxide, water plus light, where they use it to be converted to carbohydrate and oxygen in the presence of chlorophyll at sunlight. So you can able to derive the photosynthetic chemical process as this type of equation. And while the light intensity in the controlled structures of greenhouse gas can be measured by international units said to be known as the lux. So it is the direct illumination that the surrounding surface. So the 1 meter from the uniform point source of one candle is said to be measured, and light is classified according to the wavelength of nanometers present in them. So you must need to know that not all the lights are responsible for the photosynthetic process. Only a particular light range is mainly used by the chlorophyll for the photosynthetic process. For example, in UV light, which is of short wavelength range less than 400 nanometer, which is said to be harmful to plants. So the glass screens are said to be opaque to most of the UV lights, and light below range of 325 nanometers are said to be used for greenhouse gases. And visible and white light of wavelength up to 400 to 700 nanometers are said to be effectively used by the plant for their photosynthetic process. So far red of 700 to 750 mm also affects the plant besides causing photosynthesis. Infrared rays of longer wavelengths are not mainly involved in the plant processes. So it is said to be the primarily the visible spectrum of light is said to be mainly used for the photosynthetic process. In the blue and red band, the photosynthetic activity is said to be higher than the other bands. So when the blue light, the shorter wavelengths alone is supplied to the plants, the growth is said to be retarded, and the plant is said to be become hot and dark in color. When the plants are said to be grown in the red light, which is a longer wavelength, they are said to be soft and internodes are long, resulting in a tall plants of that in that particular environment. So the visible lights of all wavelengths is readily utilized by the plant in the photosynthesis. And after that, we are going to see is the temperature. So the temperature is said to be measured as the level of heat present, and all crops used to have a temperature range in which they can able to grow well in the particular temperature. So the below which is this range, the plant process is said to be stopped due to the presence of ice formation within the tissues and cell, and possibly puncture the ice crystal of that particular cell. At the upper extreme, enzymes become inactive, and again process for essential life is said to be ceased in that particular environment. So the enzymes are the biological reaction which used to catalyze as well as the heat sensitive one in all the crops. So all biological reactions in the plant are said to be controlled by these enzymes. So the rate of reaction controlled by the enzyme often double or triple for each rise of temperature by 10 degrees Celsius until the optimum temperature is reached can be done by the controlled environments. So further, when there is an increase in temperature, which can able to surpass the reaction and finally stop the enzymatic reaction of that particular crop. So where the temperature also used to act as an important enzymatic properties in the controlled environments. And after that we are going to see is relative humidity. So the greenhouse is said to be a closed space, and the relative humidity of greenhouse air will be more when compared to the ambient air in the upper surface. So due to the moisture added to the evapotranspiration process done by the crops. So the sum of the moisture is taken by leaving air of the greenhouse gases by the ventilation is said to be regularly happen as well as maintained in that particular greenhouse. So the sensible heat input also lowers the relative humidity, so which can be checked as well as retarded up to the particular extent. So in order to maintain the desirable relative humidity levels in the greenhouse, process like humidification as well as dehumidification are said to be carried out. So for most of the crops, the acceptable range of relative humidity is in between 50 to 80%. So please remember it, which can be asked in the questions. And however, the plant propagation work, relative humidity up to 90% may be disable in the greenhouse gases. So which is only during the propagation works. But after that, the growing periods, it must be reduced to 50 to 80%, which is based on the plant. In summer, due to the sensible heat addition in the daytime, and in winters for increased the nighttime temperatures, the greenhouse must need to be more sensible heat added along the cause of reduction in the relative humidity of the air. For this purpose, evaporative cooling pads as well as the fogging system of humidification are said to be employed in the control structures in greenhouses. So when the relative humidity is on the higher side, ventilators, chemical dehumidifiers and cooling coils are said to be used for dehumidification process in the controlled structures. So there are some of the handheld type instruments which are used for humidity measurements. It's what I have shown in the picture. So you can able to check the humidity present in the controlled structure, and you can able to make the automated measurements in the controlled structure. And after that, the ventilation, one of the important character we must need to know. So the ventilation can be either for reducing the temperature as well as the reflectioning carbon dioxide supply for the moderate relative humidity of the air in that particular controlled environment. So a temperature above 35 degrees centigrade are said to be not suited for the crops in the greenhouse. So the ventilation is able to maintain the average as well as the optimum environment for that crop. So it is quite possible to bring the greenhouse of air temperature below the upper limit during spring and autumn seasons simply by providing adequate ventilation to the greenhouse. So the ventilation in the greenhouse can either be natural or it can be the forced one. In case of small greenhouse, less than 6 meter wide natural ventilation can be effective as well as quite effective during the spring and autumn seasons. So however, fan ventilation is essential for precise control over the air temperature, humidity as well as carbon dioxide levels in the controlled structures. And the carbon dioxide, which is the essential part of nutrient and is present only in the greater quantity than any other plants. So above 40% of dry matter is said to be composed of carbons. So under normal condition, the CO2 is at the atmosphere of around 0.03%, which is a 345 ppm, and the exact carbon dioxide needed by the crop can be varied during each and every period. So the greenhouse, such as light, temperature, nutrient level, cultivar as well as the degree of maturity used to denotes as well as directly proportional to the CO2 level required in the controlled structures. So the most of the crops will favorably respond to CO2 at 1000 to 1200 ppm in each and everywhere. And after that, the root media, one of the important role in the cultivation of plants, so which is also act as a field and also pot for the growing crops. So the growing medium for greenhouse gases of the crop cultivation, which may act as a reservoir for many of the nutrients as well as water and important biochemical actions made by the crop. So the desirable properties of the root media we can able to select it for the protected structures or the stability of organic matter as well as the maintenance of carbon nitrogen ratio, keeping desirable bulk density, capacity of moisture retention as well as aeration, balance of pH level, and a higher level of cation exchange capacity, where we shortly called as CEC. So these are the desired properties which must be maintained in the root media. So I have given the lecture notes in description. So please comment about our videos and join us in our Instagram page, which is in the video description, and I have also given the links in the PPT. So if you like the video, like it and share it with your friends, and subscribe to BSc Agriculture and hit the bell icon to get regular updates. So thanks for watching the video. I'll catch you up in next videos.